Hello and welcome to AllShorts. And what a week it has been. Now they say it's a long week in politics, don't they? There's plenty been going on. Got Rwanda, possibly by the end of this year. You know, the flight to Rwanda. Remember Suella Braverman? Oh, she said, she looks forward to the front cover on the Daily Telegraph of her flight going to Rwanda. She was all excited, she was. Yeah. So, and Hancock, he wants to frighten the public after his WhatsApp messages have been leaked by Isabel Oakeshott. I'm not sure about her, but you know, big gate and all that. Yes, she accused, was it Cameron, of having sex. A pig. I kid you not. Well, that was back in 2017 or something, 2015. I don't know. Back then, sometime, you know. Probably before Brexit, who knows? Hancock wanted to frighten the public. Yeah, he suggested to an aide they should frighten the public. According to a leaked WhatsApp message, you know, the leaked ones that Hancock thought it was a really good idea to hand over his... I can't... hand over all his WhatsApp messages to the likes of Isabel Oakeshott. And there he is, the Health Secretary, and Isabel Oakeshott is he's anti-lockdown and anti-vaccine, anti-everything, it seems. Well, after all, she is, with that other geezer, Richard Tice, you know, from Reform Party. The party that was, the second party that was set up by Nigel Farage. You know, a Brexit-type party. One of them sort of things.
So, you have accepted
hello, number 3, cheers, buddy. Over a bit. Oh, that's too short. Yeah, nice one. Thank you, my friend. Did you say something? Did you say anything? Let's have a look. Oh dear, I'm not prepared. Aha. AllShorts. Oh, nice one. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, if anyone wants to support the channel, do that on the super chat down below. But also, there's other things down below as well. Like, for instance, in the description, there should be a buy me a coffee type thing, and it is very much appreciated. Oh, and something else as well. Alistair Kit, cheers, my friend. Keep up the excellent informative quality content. Nice one. Cheers, my friend. Excellent. Yeah, because it makes a huge difference. Because it's YouTube is just a nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
So,
but you know what it is. Oh my God, it's rolling. It's a rolling. Oh, thank you. Excellent. Yeah, so Trump as well, you know, he reckons that he could end the Ukraine war in a day. And Sergei Lavrov got mocked. Yes, because Sergei Lavrov, he said that. Oh, what he said? Did you hear? He told everybody that Ukraine started the war. I kid you not. And everybody laughed. Donald Trump said it would take him no longer than one day to settle the war between Russia and Ukraine. In a speech at the annual Conservative Political Action Conference, he said, "We're going to have a World War III if something doesn't happen fast. I'm the only candidate..." Oh, God, there we go. The only candidate who can make this promise. I will prevent World War III. Yeah, golden showers, anyone? He received a rapturous reception. He did, said the Telegraph. Torygraph, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. That one. And was interrupted by a chance of 4 more years. 4 more years, Oh dear. You know what I say?
Like you'll go person,
yeah,
woman, man, camera,
and TV. Harry and Diana, well, they reckon they've always felt different. Well, Harry says, Prince Harry, he reckons he's the spare. Well, he wrote a book about it, didn't he? Actually, do you know what? I've been got an Audible. I have to admit, I'm bored. I have to admit, he's quite good. He's quite good orator and what have you. Quite, yeah. I got bored. It didn't grab me. So I turned over to Miriam Margolyes. She swears a lot and funny. Yeah. I do feel a little bit like Harry seems to feel a little bit sorry for himself. But I understand why he's how to put it, with a chip on his shoulder, he's not very happy about everything that's going on, which I kind of understand. The media's been pretty mean. Horrible media! Oh dear! Anyway. And Boris Johnson has pretty much gone all full Trump, pretty much saying, oh, I don't know if I can vote for that deal. You know, the deal that Richie Sunak's managed to negotiate. Northern Ireland Protocol 2.0. Oh dear. Maybe. Improvement? Don't know. I'm not too convinced about these green and red lanes, though. How on earth are we going to ensure that nothing infiltrates the border? Yeah. And isn't it in the Good Friday Agreement about no physical infrastructure? Well, they're going to have to put physical infrastructure on the border between Northern Ireland and England, aren't they? Or Britain. Yeah. I think. Anyway. Oh, how do they know there's a green lane or a red lane? They've got to do something. What, they're going to build new roads? They're going to paint them 3 different colours? I don't know. See how it's going to work myself. I don't. I could have been born in another country and would have been fine, but no, I had to. Born in them. I can't say that. I'll get struck off. I will. Hello, Joe. Anyway, let's have a look. See who we got here. I'll use my old phone. Yeah, little casual. Right, who we got here? I carry on. Oh God, yeah, that's me from earlier. That's me. I don't understand what went wrong there, Madbank 33, because I actually could put it in 2100 on my computer, and it came up as 2000. But you know where that is. Tupatansky has a good video about this. Ooh, yeah, Tupatansky. I don't think I don't on YouTube. I know she was on Twitter most, TikTok, didn't she? Oh, nice one. Well, thank you, Ruth. Oh, you're most kind. Thank you. Keep up the excellent. Well, that's the other one. There we go. I'd like to buy a tree and dedicate it to my grandmother, Wren, but I don't know how. Oh, there should be a link in the description down below, Ruth. Which, oh, I headbutted my microphone. Not a very good idea, no. Yeah, there's a link down below. If yeah, in the description. But yeah, we've been planted food this week. Just gone Wednesday. Started film Wednesday. Other than that, I've been making signs. Done I could have done that live, couldn't I? Really? Let me do. And I've started. Yesterday I started gluing up wood and what have you for the bird boxes. But I was doing it on the other channel, my woodworking channel. Like customs, I guess. Yes, there'll be some sort of customs board. There'll have to be something there to deal with the people that are toing and throwing on the lorries. And when you consider that the United Kingdom's having to get even more laps with controls, they can't get the food in. Get into that in the moment, actually. Other issues. It's not just about the turnips. No, it's not just about the turnips. But it's not.
A lot of people would be eating turnips right now rather than thinking necessarily about aspects of lettuce and tomato.
Are you like a crazy person?
I think so. No. Apples and pears and leeks and all sorts of stuff are all at risk now. Yeah, they're going to have to get a visa. Well, not exactly, but you know, I made that bit up, obviously. You can't get a visa for a turnip, can you? Can you? Anyway, the Tory grandees, they have compared Boris Johnson to Donald Trump. Several Conservative MPs were shocked when Johnson and his team questioned the work of the Independent Commons Privileges Committee after it found that there was a significant volume of evidence suggesting that the former Prime Minister may have misled Parliament. Well, a senior Tory has said they've gone full Trump. It is wicked. Where will this end? They're desperate. Another said Johnson was just like Trump, saying black is white and white is black and water is...
One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. and tremendously wet.
Thank you, Trump. Yes. You go back to Putin and, have another golden shower, maybe. Never did see that video, did we? And Labour condemns rail hikes. I don't know if you heard, but rail prices are going up again. And you heard of the term bums on seats. Charge too much and people won't travel that way. They'll find other means unless they really, really have to. 5.9% is quite a hike. It really is, especially in the cost of living crisis. It's not great. No. And in 2012, that is the highest fare since 2012, when it rose around 6% then, really. So the government said that this year's increase is well below inflation. So what about the nurses' wages? The paramedics? The rail workers? Don't they deserve a pay rise as well because of inflation? Maybe it should be linked to that kind of thing. Public sector workers' wages should be index linked to inflation. As it goes up and down, your wages can't fluctuate. Obviously, don't go below a certain amount. No protocol. Bounce for Sunak. A survey has found that twice as many voters believe that Labour, under Keir Starmer, has the nation's best interests at heart. Whether you love him or hate him, I'm neither one or the other, although I'm not particularly keen on his stance on Brexit. I really feel it's kind of a bit deceptive, but there you go. So yes, Labour's way ahead, but we go back to the Rwanda flight. It's likely to be just before the next general election. And the Tories could gain votes that way. Maybe it won't be quite so many seats, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think people have had enough. And all those people who would have voted, the 2019 nutcases, oh, yes.
Are you like a crazy person?
All because of...
Coming over here, taking our jobs and our women.
All those racists. You pretty much... Well, some people say, I just want to get Brexit done, Oh,
let's get
Brexit
done.
I think I am, isn't I? Yeah. But yes, not going to be enough. And those people are like turning back to Labour because they're red wall voters, a lot of them. Unless you're Lee Anderson, of course. But even will he keep his seat? I hope not. I'd love to see him lose his seat. Oh, he did that once. He's not going to get in again. 30p Lee. Oh dear. Now he's criticising those who go to food banks for getting the McDonald's. In the food bank, you shouldn't be able to afford the McDonald's. It's making half the stuff up anyway, to be honest. He does, isn't it? Just like how he made up his doorstep, or staged his doorstep, a visit to one of his constituents. He wanted to do something with a cat and nine tails. Refugees, asylum seekers, etc. Well, and then you've got that Lavrov, Sergio Lavrov, when he got Russia's foreign minister. Sergio Lavrov, he face laughed, he did, and derision at the conference in India, when he claimed that Ukraine war had been launched against his home country. How on earth can you twist it? How low can you go? He was right about Liz Truss, though. Well, she said, I don't know if he mentioned anything about pork markets at all. Better not. I can't find it anyway. It's there somewhere. Oh, there you go.
I'll be in Beijing, opening up new pork markets.
Yeah, Sergio Lavrov was right about her, though, wasn't he? Dear me. Don't need to know, though. You know the dog? Little terrier. The one we see in his master's voice. Dog. With the gramophone and that. You remember the gramophone? And his master's voice, and all that. Yeah. You realise that dog is now as a species, a variety. Close to extinction. We need to start breeding his master's voice terrier dogs. That's what we've got to do. Not with them, obviously. Breed 2 dogs. Filthy mind. That's just... Why would you do that? Oh. Oh, back onto the chat. Back onto the chat. I'm looking. We'll have there. I'm going to get my chat back up on here. Oh, wrong computer. Ah. Phones are all very well. Excellent. There we are. Shut up. Oh. Right, so. Alistair, Duke Vengeance. Oh, redacted. And Sir Larry the Cat. D. Fullick. And Joe, greetings from the Golden King. Oh. Mellow. The piglets want run away from her. Ah, little piggies. Michael King, hello Michael King. She needs a good pork sword, maybe. Oh, silly. Lavrov, the silly blonde that is not blonde. What? It is a disgrace. I could do that one, but I don't... I'll put them at the bottom of the list now, you see. Oh, actually, I got it here.
That is a disgrace.
I don't think she's going to recover, is she, politically? I really don't. She was standing outside her hospital the other day in King's Lynn, you know, for constituency. And the same hospital has been held up with, like, 1,500, quite a hell of a lot of acros holding the roof up. Or the hospital. Some hospitals have got sewage flowing into the wards. Because they're not not because of obviously the sewage that's going out, you know, the seas and the rivers and into hospitals as well. That's not that. No, it's with their own sewage. They can't afford to maintain the hospitals. Just nuts. Just how did we get in such a place? I find absolutely flabbergasting why we are where we are. And most voters I actually think that Brexit is to blame for this widespread shortage of fruit and vegetables on our supermarket shelves. Now, a poll of independent, for the Independent newspaper, has found that the majority of the public, 57%, said that Britain's exit from the European Union was behind the lack of fresh produce. Oh, that's according to the Savanta Comres survey. And only 1 in 3, 36%, said that Brexit was not to blame. Well, we know it is. Overall, all the political problems that we have, you can pretty much put it down to Brexit anyway. Nearly everything. Because most of these political problems we've got now are all down to this Conservative Party. If it wasn't for Brexit, they might not be in power. Especially not this government, or especially not Boris Johnson's government. You know what it was all about? It was all about that.
We got an oven-ready deal, put it in the microwave.
Just railroaded them in. Got to give him the dues. He's one hell of a marketer. If you want to market to these kind of people, I suppose. You know. Did well at that, didn't he? He knew what strings to pull. He should be a promoter of horrible people. Never mind sending Nigel Farage over to help old Donald Trump. You know, be sending Boris Johnson instead. But like I mentioned earlier, that's okay. Oh, cheers, my friend. There's about 5. Oh, crikey! There's about 5 hospitals that have the roof failing or falling What, right this second? I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I'm from Norfolk, yeah? Our hospital was is the University Hospital. And it's one of the early PFI hospitals. And all about the money. Instead of actually the money getting put back into the hospital, it's all about the money. It's just being extracted. Obviously, private funding, isn't it? That's why it's, private funding investment. Private something, anyway. Public, anyway. Yeah, anyway, okay, well, what it stands for, no? But yeah, he's that particular hospital is begun procurement and all that sort of stuff. My son was working there, and the amount they were paying for stuff was way over the odds because they have to get all from the same place. Procurement contracts. And basically got an online catalogue and they have to select whether they want. They can't, that product there, that's what it's about half the price. We'll buy that one instead. They can't do that. They get tied to this contract. Cost an absolute fortune. Now, one of these hospitals don't have the money to spend. So they've already spent it. They've signed their lives away, basically. Because somebody in the middle, it's probably been lobbying, I reckon. No wonder the hospitals are struggling. Wonder that. And one individual, I have to admit, I'll show this little interview on here. This was with I don't know if you saw it, Bernie Sanders. You know Bernie Sanders. He was one of the opposition for like Donald Trump, and yeah. Well, Bernie Sanders, he's some people compare him to Corbyn, but I wouldn't. Bernie Sanders is absolutely brilliant. And let's bring that back over.
In the United States.
Okay, well, let's listen to Bernie Sanders. So I have to admit, absolutely. You with that? So,
The function of healthcare in America is not to provide quality care to all. It's to make billions for the insurance companies. So strengthen the NHS. You need more money, put money into it. But don't go the American route. We're trying to get out of that.
The Labour Party in the UK, one of the ways that they're looking at potentially strengthening the NHS is more partnerships with the private sector, using spare capacity in the private sector.
I would be nervous about that. I don't know all the details, but it sounds to me like the wrong direction.
Really? Because of the private sector, you think is...
Look, the function of the private sector is not to provide quality care. The function of healthcare is not complicated. Everybody should be entitled to the best care the system can provide. Not to have a system in which insurance companies make huge amounts of money.
Now, you will forgive me, there is one constitutional issue in the UK that I'm really interested genuinely to know what your opinion is on it, and that's Scottish independence. Look, it might be something that you haven't given much thought to, but over here it's such a live debate because, of course, we're looking for a new leader of the Scottish National Party. And one of the arguments is that, look, Scotland tends to attack more left politically. They've obviously had a Conservative government in Westminster for over a decade.
Yeah, Bernie is ace.
What's your instinct on it? What's your gut say?
Look, I'm not an expert on UK politics. I very much appreciate what the people of Scotland have done, what they're fighting for.
Exactly, Ruth.
And my, initial thought, not being an expert, they want to go their own way, they should be allowed to.
Spot on, and that's my feeling. Oh, stop. There you go. Yeah. I have to admit that I don't know if you saw the whole interview. It's online if you want to see it. It's on there. It's on Sky News on channel on YouTube on their channel. But anyway, I have to admit he was just so coherent and so he just knows what he's spot on. He's just about the people. After all, isn't that what the NHS and healthcare is all about? And I know I've said this before, but isn't that a bit short-sighted if we don't look after the people in the workforce? It makes sense to me that we have a potential situation. We've got people waiting for having operations, hips and stuff like that, and they can't work. Wouldn't it be a good idea to get them all, patched up and so they can go back to work? Makes sense to me. What's the point of having a sick population? Doesn't make any sense if you want to grow an economy. And no, the United Kingdom economy is not growing. No matter what old Richie Sunak likes to tell us, it's not growing at all, is it? No. How is it going to grow when all we've got is problem after problem after? We need people. You need to get jiggy with it. But But yeah, it's just doesn't make no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. If you don't look after your people, with healthcare, the NHS, quickly, well, you're just going to have a sickly population, and then you can't actually do the work, and you can't keep your GDP up. You're not going to have any growth. It's not going. Nothing's going to happen. Not positively, anyway. It's the same with Cheers, Ezra. Right, you are, Marcus, says Ezra. We've got Sir Larry the Cat, calm and direct. Good. Yeah, he is calm and direct, isn't he? And he's easy to listen to. Not like me. No. Beeps, if your message does not appear straight away, it's held for review, says MadBunk33. If it doesn't appear at all, then naughty, and you're on the naughty step, he says. Hey, no, okay. Control yourself, madman. Control yourself. You're getting excited. Oh, dear. So, yeah, I saw the Frankie Boyle interview too. Oh, definitely getting this new book. Frankie Boyle? I still need to watch it. Bernie is he is definitely common sense. That would have been absolutely fantastic if he could have made some headway in the United States and became the president. Could you imagine that? There again, saying that. How far would you get through? Get past the Republicans. There again, Lulu got in, didn't he? Yeah. Maybe there's hope. Yeah, I don't know. Hello there, Reagan Elite. Hope you're well, my friend, and Casper Northerner. Yeah, I saw the Frankie Boyle interview. Boyle. Said that already. Bottom. Work them until they're sick, then take them for everything they have, plus more. Kind of makes sense economically, says Dongtay 92. People with whips excited is not my thing. Okay, Joe. Oh, damn. I've got three mice here. I keep forgetting which is which, though. I've got two computers going. Yeah, I'll show you. Oh, there it is. Over there. Oh, I've got dog cam as well. There you go. Oh, no dogs. Okay, in front of the fire. That's what I need to do. I need to put a camera in the actual lounge in front of the fire for a dog cam. There you go. So, never seen the. There we go. Everyone coalesced around Biden and Bernie. New key. They couldn't win the nomination. I know. I have Bernie's other books, and they're really good, says Casper. He just talks so much sense. Ben Ridding says we get Rosal Gummidge, Aunt Sally, and Penfold in the space of 3 years. That's all Gummidge. That must be obviously, Boris Johnson and Aunt Sally. Well, that could have been Theresa May, actually. That must. Oh my God, yeah, Penfold, Aunt Sally. And Penfold in the space of 3 years. Sunak's a little Penfold. He's like a pocket prime minister, isn't he? I know he's about my height actually, but he's just such a small frame. Like you'd roll them up and put them in your pocket like a paper or something. I don't know. Strange one. Oh, the Windsor framework will be the straw that breaks the camel's back in justifying Scotland not accessing the EU. I know. They're not happy, are they? But there again, they weren't happy about the Northern Ireland Protocol either. Because it's obviously special situation, apparently, you see. Was he not up against Trump and then pulled... What? Pulled? Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. See what you mean, Ruth? Oh, dear. I saw Bernie when he was running for president. You shook his hand! Oh, nice one, Gingers. Did he have a space laser in it? No. People who whips... Sorry, there we go. Number 3 says, AllShorts. What happened to the week in politics? Oh yeah, we've gone a bit off track here, haven't we? Just saying, those damn super delegates. Okay. Well, everything has been going on this week. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. I do have a list of stuff I want to get through. I'll try and get this done within a couple of hours. I've done 30 minutes already. Yes, we've got Suella Braverman's Rwanda flight, which is pretty much announced today. Well, they're going to announce it tomorrow, actually, but it's been talked about today, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been leaked or whatever today. So he's, well, let's have a look. Oh, Suella Braverman's Rwanda flight. Dream it could happen this year, sources say. Home Secretary reportedly believes that the European Court of Human Rights will rule on the policy by the end of 2023. And Suella Braverman's dream of flying refugees to Rwanda, yes, will be realised by the end of the year and before the next general election. The government sources have said. So that'll win some votes. The wrong votes, but the votes. Home Secretary believes that with a fair wind, the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg could rule on the controversial policy by the end of 2023 and is unlikely to overturn the UK court rulings. Government sources said that even if there is a referral to the Supreme Court, Braverman's team say that a deportation flight to the East African country may well take off before the next general election. And Richie Sunak has also said, if you come over to the United Kingdom in little boats, what they call illegally, well then you'll get sent straight back. Where though?
So,
there's only
you have accepted the
cheers,
truth.
Keir. So the Scottish Government has asked for a Protocol 2. Was it a 2.0? This was a 2.0, isn't it, you know? Or was it a 1.1? I don't know. Oh, dear. Oh. Now it comes as Downing Street declined to rule out that the UK could withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights if it was seen as necessary to stop the small boats crossings despite serious misgivings among some Conservative MPs. Though Richie Sunak last month said that tackling the small boats, those pesky little small boats,
coming over here, taking our jobs and our women.
In fact, they get shoved in these hotels and various other places, and you've got a mob outside waiting to lynch them all. Lovely. Why would they want to come here? Well, that's just France, but yeah, to the United Kingdom. I don't know. I think they've been sold a line. They've been sold that there's a land of milk and honey. Just not. It must be about feeling safe. But there again, I wouldn't feel very safe, would you? With that mob outside? Saying, oh, we're not racist. That's what they've been saying. Oh, we're not racist. Now, a risky move, given that Boris Johnson and Theresa May failed to employ policies which reduced the numbers. In fact, the numbers have increased since Brexit. Got more now coming over in little boats than we did before. Well, there was an accord, wasn't it? Wasn't there? Was it the Dublin Accord? Which we decided not to because we're too lazy. Or it was going to be too costly to return people to the first country for which they, well, landed in. Just like all those turnips. Oh, not turnips, tomatoes. Been told to stay put. Refugee tomatoes, that is, obviously. We can't get tomatoes. Well, some places you can. You can in the got the farm store places and stuff like that, and greengrocers, but the supermarkets themselves are very much struggling. But we'll get into that in a moment. Braverman spoke in October of zeal in getting these Rwanda deal across the line. I would love to have a front page on the Telegraph. Remember that? Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, didn't I? With that plane taken off to Rwanda. Oh, that's my dream, it's my obsession, she said. All to hear. The judges in December ruled that the policy, which intended to stem the numbers of people crossing the Channel from northern France in small boats, was lawful. In January, the same judges laid part of their ruling to be challenged in the Court of Appeal. And Sunak's official spokesperson has stressed that Number 10 was confident that they promised a new bill to try to limit the number of refugees and migrants arriving unofficially would comply with international treaties, but refused to say what could happen if the European Court opposed the plans. And they probably will. However, other officials said that even if withdrawal from the European Court of Human Rights was it Convention of Human Rights? Anyway, I was considered it would not happen in this Parliament if eventually seen as needed. It would most likely be included into the manifesto, Tory manifesto, that is, pledged for the next election. I'd be very disappointed if Labour decided to do that, but that's quite unlikely. Any move to leave the European Court of Human Rights would be the European Convention on Human Rights would be deeply controversial as part of because of provisions form part of the Good Friday Peace Agreement. Isn't that why we've got Northern Ireland Protocol 2.0? You know, the Windsor framework. IT with, Ursula von der Leyen. But also because it would leave the UK with Russia and Belarus as the only European countries outside the continent's joint rights framework. Oh, we'll be like Russia. Actually, we're getting more and more like Russia every single day, aren't we? You know, our economy is heading that way regarding our growth. G7 and all that. Asked about the report in the Sunday Times, Sunak planned such a move. The PM spokesperson said only that a bill is due in the coming weeks to tackle the small boat crossings, would comply with the European Court rights and refused to be drawn on what would happen if it did not. Unsourced speculation. Yeah, it's just the Tory response after. It's all. Oh, I can't stand that woman. Sue Ellen Braverman, who happens to be a member of a cult, defended the man who was a sex offender, boozing men in that cult. And she got him off, and then he pegged it, so he never got convicted or anything like that. Jimmy Sav, what is it about these Tories and sex offenders? Nuts. Now, oh dear. Matt Hancock, he wanted to frighten the Gajeebas off us, he did. Yeah, the pants off the public, that's what he wanted to do. Oh dear. But a COVID strain, well, you laugh about this stuff, but really, this is really serious. The stuff that went on, how they tried to control the people. He wanted to frighten the pants off the public about the COVID strain. Yeah, the Kent strain or something it was called. And in the leaked WhatsApp messages. The latest messages show that her ex-health secretary, thank God, was worried that Richie Sunak's Eat Out Help Out scheme was contributing to the spread of COVID. Yeah. I can't play this because I'll just get demonetized, but I might play a little bit of it. It's Kathy Newman interviewing Isabel Oakeshott, who's the one who exposed. Oh, it's only 56 seconds. I might get away with it. It's exposed. Well, she exposed the WhatsApp messages for which Matt Hancock decided it was a good idea to give her research material. Yes, 100,000 odd text messages for which she's leaked. She says in the public interest. That's not why she's done it. This makes her relevant.
You have no qualms about taking this story to the Telegraph. You're happy with how that went?
I'm going to terminate the interview, okay?
Well,
this is my last warning, okay? I'm going to terminate the interview. I've not come on here to justify where the story was placed or how I chose to go about that. I've come on here to talk about the story and the fact that you have started wheeling out inaccurate figures about my contract or any working arrangement I have had. I think that is frankly unprofessional. Do you want to talk about your salary?
I want to talk about the story that has played out this week.
How much are you paid, Kathy?
I haven't hit the headlines. You've hit the headlines, Isabel.
Well, maybe if you broke some stories, you would.
Well, Isabel Oakeshott, I'm afraid, has terminated that interview, but we will now. I would have liked to know the answer to that question.
It's about 8 minutes long. It's on a couple out all obviously because of copyright and stuff. But yeah, it was hilarious. Definitely worth. I might find a link. I'll put it in the description down below. I think I'll find a link for that one. But it's absolutely hilarious. Isabel Oakeshott. Oh my god. It's like other things that she's done in the past. It was about like the Pigsgate and accusing David Cameron of having sex with a pig when he's a lot younger, a lot of years ago. So what? Isabel Oakeshott from a reliable source, she says. One source, and it wasn't reliable. Although I wouldn't be surprised. No. Oh dear. So Matt Hancock told his aides that he wanted to frighten the pants off everyone about the Kent variant of COVID to ensure the compliance with lockdown rules. Yeah, scare the hell out of you so they control you. Well, the latest WhatsApp exchanges show that the then Health Secretary and others discussing how to use an announcement about the variant to scare the public into changing their behaviour. Now, 100,000 odd WhatsApp messages, well, the Telegraph isn't going to check them all out all at once, are they? It's going to be over a, period of publications. Or until the public get bored. They could get bored sooner rather than later, I imagine. Oh, dear. And, God, that advertise on some of these papers. Now, the messages among... I don't want to talk about that in a minute, actually, regarding this channel. The messages among 100,000 passed to the Telegraph by journalist Isabel Oakeshott showed Cabinet Secretary Simon Case suggested in January 2021 that the fear factor would be vital. Talk about Simon Case, he was going to be investigating the... I don't think it was Simon Case, wasn't it? He was going to be investigating Partygate, but there definitely was no wine or cheese, apparently. But yes, couldn't, because he was involved. There was exchanges between him and others regarding Partygate. So, Sue Gray got the job instead. And now she's been, I don't think she's been, no, not yet, is she? But she's gonna, old Starmer's giving her a job, basically. So now they're all saying it's conspiracy! 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 Oh dear, it all happens in a week in politics. Well, this also shows that Mr. Hancock's repeated concerns that the then Chancellor Richie Sunak's signature "eat out, help out" was stupid. It was just so obvious. But then again, that's really obvious. But so is it obvious given all your text messages to somebody like Isabel Oakeshott? Why on earth would you get her to ghostwrite your blooming memoirs about your lockdowns and how great you are? Self-promotion and all that. Yeah, a different picture of what really obviously went on. Why, somebody like her who's anti-lockdown, anti-this, it's just so obvious. She's dangerous. And he was our health secretary. No wonder he built a hospital without any nurses. Doctors. The Nightingales, remember them? What a waste of money they were. Didn't even get used. But he did get to get his picture, his face, on a giant screen while everybody went, oh, look at him, he's so great. We've got to pretend he's so lovely, cheer and all that, But, well, Mr. Hancock and Mr. Sunak were revealed to have complained about Dominic Cummings. I remember him. He's satanic. I think he is. He ain't gone away. He's still about. He's still doing his blogs and releasing bits of information. I don't think anyone's really reading them that much now, to be fair. I follow him, but he's just he writes. He's got a strange way of writing though. It's bizarre. I thought my writing was bad. Well, Dominic Cummings was Boris Johnson's top advisor. Boris Johnson literally went up to, to get Dominic Cummings on board originally. He almost he begged them effectively. Come on, Dom. Help me, will you? I need your help. Well, the latest messages show that in December 2020, there was concern that the mayor, London mayor, Sadiq Khan, could follow the example of the mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham and his eyebrows. And, they clashed with the government over the decision to impose such stringent lockdown curves. Maybe in cahoots with Isabel Oakeshott, maybe. Probably not. As Hancock's advisor said, rather than doing too much forward signalling, we can roll pitch with the new strain. The then Health Secretary responded, we frighten the pants off everyone with the new strain. Yeah, we'll control you. You'll do as you're told. Yeah. Oh, let's have a party, shall we? Yeah, okay. Well, the conversation on the 13th of December came amid concerns about the rapid spread of the virus in the south-east of England. Oh, cahoodling they are. Are they inbred? Not everybody, obviously, but I won't be surprised some of them are. Especially those who put that across in the wrong box. Now, Mr. Hancock announced that a new variant had been identified in the United Kingdom. London and South East England were to enter a new Tier 4 alert level. And it was announced on 19th of December, when Mr. Johnson also cancelled a promised Christmas bubbles policy allowing families to meet. Now, I remember that, yeah. Made a little announcement, didn't he? Well, the entirety of England entered the third national lockdown on the 6th of January, 2021. Messages from the 10th of January show that Mr. Hancock and the Cabinet Secretary discussing ways to ensure compliance. You will do as you're told. Or else. Mr. Hancock tells him, after a brief discussion on angling, does Matt Hancock fish? That he honestly wouldn't move on sneezes. Oh, there. Let's turn the microphone off then, you see. You don't hear my sneeze, do you? Mr. Hancock tells him, after a brief discussion on angling, that he honestly wouldn't move on any small things unless we move on a lot. Mr. Case. Simon Case. He agreed he did. I think that is exactly right. Small stuff looks ridiculous. Ramping up messaging, the fair, the guilt factor. Vital. I suspect London Nightingale coming into use will feel like a big public moment, especially as I guess it will be full within a couple of days, based on the current data. Yeah, Phil, no one's going to get treated, Doug, so I got no doses. I just stack them up in there. Oh, the body's piled high, maybe. You know how they roll. Meanwhile, Mr. Sunak is under pressure to ensure questions about whether the Treasury officials ignored evidence that his summer 2020 Eat Out to Help Out scheme helped spread the virus. On 24th of August 2020, there we go. Mr. Hancock told Mr. Case that he had kept it out of the news in the message suggesting that the scheme boosting the economic had a negative impact in the terms of infections. He said, we have had lots of feedback that Eat Out to Help Out is causing problems. People are getting sick. I can't believe how stupid that was. What on earth was he thinking? He says, I've kept it out of the news, but it's serious. That's what he said. I've kept it out of the news, but it's serious. So please, let's not allow the economic success of the scheme to lead to its extension. Economically, it might have worked. But, well, people got sick. In December 2020, and then the then Health Secretary, well, he resigned, didn't he, after he got caught on the cameras for canoodling with Congolangolo, whatever her name is. His aide. I don't know what Shields helped him with. Yeah, dirty old man. Oh dear. Anyway, a study by Warwick University found in October 2020 that the scheme may be responsible for 8 to 17% of the COVID clusters in the previous couple of months. That's Richie Sunak's fault, that is. But the government dismissed the back of the envelope calculation. Now, Professor Jonathan Ports of King's College. Oh, got a doggy wants to go outside. You right there, Wally? Oh, it looks on the face of it that was deliberately trying to conceal what the evidence was about Eat Out and Help Out. Eat Out to Help Out. The former Health Secretary was also reportedly irked by the Chief Executive of NHS England, Simon Stevens, during the pandemic, and even said, well, ousting him would be a massive improvement. Yeah. Because you want to control the narrative. Gina, that's it. Gina Congalangelo, whatever her name is. That's it. Gina, what's it? Yeah. The messages show that Mr. Hancock's advisor, Alan Nixon, warned that the Health Secretary that you look like you're losing grip in front of number 10. When he, angry at Mr. Stevens in the meeting, Mr. Hancock replied, "It's okay. He needs to know that he's massively effed up." Oh, I just got to let my dog out, you know. Oh, he's there. He's looking at me. Maybe he wants a treat. Doggy cam. When is it? That one? Oh, he's not there. Oh, is he there? No, is he down? Oh, he's down there. Ha ha. You want a wee-wee? Is that why you know the door? Hmm? Oh, blimey. Actually, no, wait a minute. No, wait. Right, okay, do you want a wee? Let me just let the dog out. Come have a wee-wee. Treats now. Got a taste for treats. What's he like, eh? Anyway, before we get... Wally! That was my Wally dog, Gingers. That's my Wally. Politics is such nonsense. No one likes Matt Hancock, but everyone is talking about him. Perfect sense. It's just literally the best way to waste your entire life. I know, but it's hilarious. That man is just... Oh, but look on the bright side. He was... Well, it wasn't that long ago. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, let me do that.
This is Willy Concarney. Oh. This is a camel's penis.
Oh, just a tip. Oh, marvellous.
I wonder if it was just chewy. It had a little bit of crunch on the end. I don't know.
What does it taste like?
Oh yeah, that's it. Go for it.
I think it was soft and crunchy at the same time. The texture was horrible.
What a horrid little critter that he is. Oh, nasty little man. Anyway, where was I? People just mimic Yes Minister and laugh. They do. Poor camel. Yeah. I wonder if it's still alive. Do people eat camel? I bet that camel's got the hump. Oh God, Odin's beer. Very good. Stop, says Joa. If you wish to support... Oh yeah, cheers, buddy. Yeah, you can support us on Patreon. Buy us a coffee and links down below in the description. Also, there's the super chat down below if you want to do a super chat. And also, what I've got on my mind, I've got a suggestion for the channel, for my videos. I would love to get rid of the adverts, if that's possible to do. I need to check that if it is possible. Because they're chucking adverts in where they're not supposed to, but I'd love to be able to get rid of them altogether. But obviously I need some kind of way of funding myself. So if anyone's got any ideas on that, because if I can get rid of... Two reasons, well, one, I think it'll help the channel anyway, because adverts are just annoying. Whether it be at the end or the beginning or wherever. Actually, I suppose at the end not that so much, but adverts in the beginning are just flippin' horrendous, and midway through, even worse.
So, you have
I
accepted
can't stand them, I really can't. Oh, number 3. Oh, cheers, my friend. Say, how do our leaders get away with these crimes? That's exactly what they are, my friend. They are literally crimes, and they should be locked up. Yeah, put on a rack. What about a guillotine? I can make that. I can make a hydraulic one if you like. Yeah. Others in government and Parliament didn't stop them. Of course, yeah, you're 100% right. They kept stum. They want to keep their jobs or their positions. What was Boris Johnson doing at the time? If you don't agree with us, you're out. Grandees in Parliament, they all, well, chucked out. Didn't they? Nuts. I see where you're coming from, number 3. It's just maddening. And they are literally criminals. That's what they are. Oh, dear. Oh, God, this is going on. No, it doesn't. Oh, it's only a couple more paragraphs. That's good. That one. But he's just unbelievable. But not what I want to talk about today. But yeah, what I was saying a minute ago, I was saying I want to try and, if I can get more Patreon and stuff like that, if I can get to a level where I can fund myself, I'm going to take off the adverts. Especially the beginning. Well, I don't know why. Some of my videos, I don't even know it's been shorter videos recently. They're less likely to put adverts in the middle. But I opt out of putting adverts in the middle of my video anyway. And they've been a bit naughty, so I want to demonetize it. Well, I'd love to. If I demonetize it, then we'll put ads there. Shouldn't do. So I've been told. I know. Pardon the eye. But it might be if you go for a walk around the coastline of the United Kingdom, you might get mine in your eye, just like you would do in San Diego. Get into that in a minute. Yes, I did the video about that earlier. This morning, actually. And it's kind of confirms that there's a risk. That sewerage has gone airborne. Oh, but we'll get into that one in a moment. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. The poop has gone airborne. Yes, shit's hit the fan. Oh, it did. I think the Führers would expect the politicians, being human beings, would express things in a human way. And I don't think that you would find one politician that wasn't afraid at the beginning of the lockdown, he said. When asked about the idea of scare tactics, Mrs. Oakeshott was originally given the material by Matt Hancock because of his book. Yes, they were collaborating. She was like a ghostwriter for Matt Hancock. He's writing his memoirs about his time in government during that pandemic and how brilliant he was. Now, he has condemned the leak as a massive betrayal. In fact, there was a non-disclosure agreement, apparently. But that's never going to go to court. Because Matt Hancock is going to have to prove that it wasn't for the public interest. It would drag on for ages and it could bankrupt them. Or it is below shot. Depends which way it swings, I suppose. Yes, he's condemned the leak as a massive betrayal designed to support an anti-lockdown agenda, arguing that the selective release of messages gives only a partial, biased account. In a statement, these are his words, obviously. In a statement this week, Mr. Hancock said that all the materials for his book have been made available to the official COVID-19 inquiry. Mrs. Oakeshott has said that the disclosures are in the public interest. That's what she says. I'll tell you what other people say about her. Well, I do it. I don't know if I got it on there, actually. Not that one, not that one. Oh, it's all the way up there. Why is it all the way up? Yeah. Well, you might have saw this little short I did. Isabel Oakeshott, she has been confronted by the ex-RMT union geezer, Steve Headley, I think. He pretty much called her.
I frankly am not sure what's going to come out of your mouth.
Well, we're in a similar situation. What's going to come out of your mouth? I see that's up there on the auto cue.
You sat there and accused me of being an advert for the Hitler Youth. How do you justify that?
Well, because
that is downright offensive.
You're an absolute fascist, right? You sit here.
Listen, honestly, this is actually a joke. It is actually a joke. If you think that you are
you're like Borat and LEG.
Killing some of the virus. No, you can't see the virus.
No, it's still there. You're an embarrassment for your industry. You're an embarrassment for unions.
I'm not sure what's
But she is. Most definitely. She is horrid. Nasty. She's nearly as bad. Oh, crikey. She's nearly as bad or as bad as... I'm losing them all. No,
This is a true story.
Remember her?
Right now, I am not allowed to be
during
in
when they
this
said restrictions
fine
in
country of yours.
the US.
And so I did what any rational individual would do. I decided to break my ass into this country via Mexico. Whoop-de-doo. Come at me. Lock me up.
You should lock her up, I'll tell you.
Do it. I promise you.
Oh, Katie Hopkins. She is awful. Oh. Yeah, she was in cahoots with Alex Belfield. I'll say something else there. But yeah, Alex Belfield. Who's in prison at the moment for also being a nasty critter. Jeremy Vine or Jeremy Kyle Vine. Anyway, I think Jeremy Vine stalking them. Alex Belfield, he got 6 years. 6 years in prison for being a stalker. What's up, Wally? Crazy. Oh. I want to get on to poo. Now, there has been some DNA tests. Not just in San Diego, but also in Norfolk. Yeah. Eacham Beach. DNA tests have been done, and they've found that, yes, there's most definitely sewage in our seas. Because we keep pumping poop into the seas. Yes, DNA tests have revealed the causes of pollution, which has also blighted the Norfolk beach for the last 2 summers. It's been happening, I think it's a... Can I pronounce it? The beach in San Diego also, they haven't been able to open, basically. Well, they've been closed about 256 days of the year because of sewage. Well, it also means that there's likely to go airborne as well, which we'll get into in a minute. The bathing water quality has been rated very poor in Eacham in 2021. It's not just Eacham. Various beaches around Kent and South Coast, and pretty much until you get sort of like to Scotland, there's problems. Yeah, Scotland, you see, but they haven't got a privatised sewage network. No, run by the government, and they've got a lot less problems, a lot less poo in our rivers and seas in Scotland. But the rest of the country is pretty much toilet. So the bathing water quality has been rated poor off Eacham in 2021 and 2022, while visitors have at times been warned not to swim or gather shellfish. There's an organisation called Surfers Against Sewerage who have been kicking up a fuss. They've also put the government monitors, which keep getting switched off, are now actually online. They've got it on their web. I think it's on their website. Or was it another website? Anyway, they've organised it. Environment Agency scientists have been also using so-called microbial source tracking analysis, a form of DNA testing to investigate further. Well, they're not the only ones who have been doing this. No. Now, if you watch my video this morning, I don't know how you pronounce it. Someone did tell me phonetically in the comments, but I forgot already. Tijuana sewage blasted San Diego's South Bay beaches at record pace in 2022. What will this summer bring? More poo. Yes, Imperial Beach and Coronado suffered the highest number of beach closures in more than a decade last year, including through the tourist season. Warning days added to the pain. A sewage spilling over the border from Tijuana. Obviously not pronouncing that correctly, I know. It has plagued the South Bay shorelines for decades. Ominous yellow and red signs, the warning of contaminated water, are frequently posted in the sand from the Imperial Beach to Coronado. However, Concerns reached, a fevered pitch last year after the public health officials rolled out a sensitive new DNA-based protocol for testing water quality. A tidal wave of swimming restrictions and warnings followed, stretching through the tourist season. As the Tijuana's plumbing has continued to crumble, beach closures. This gets me. They keep going on about the infrastructure. You get in the poop from the from the homes out to sea. You can get it to the sewage works. The thing is, these places, they don't invest in the sewage works. You know what's going on in the United Kingdom? They've all been privatised. Huge amounts of money has been sucked out in dividends and what have you because of shares. Because people make investments, obviously they want the money back from their investments. I get that, but it shouldn't be privatised in the first place. No. But they have been. So the money doesn't get reinvested as much as it should have been. Oh, it's always the bare minimum just to keep the pit. Patch it, keep it going for as long as you possibly can. It's like putting an egg in your radiator. Eventually, your radiator is going to fail. Has anyone done that before? Because I know I have. You've got a hole in your radiator, put an egg white in. Bit like that bars stuff you used to get. So Coronado, frequently named among the nation's top beach destinations and was plagued by sewage for 51 days. Another actually listener says it was shut for 256 days last year. Anyway, the DNA testing had been done, and they found that it's actually in the air. This is a different article that I was reading yesterday, actually, but it's actually in the air. They found it's in the air. They tested moisture in the air, micro droplets of water droplets, inland, but 2 miles inland, and they did DNA tests in 3/4 of it. The bacteria, that is, was from sewage that they tested in the sea. Yeah. They got there probably through the sea spray. Like a mist. You're breathing it in. You're inhaling turds. Micro turds. Ugh! Also, this is going on in the United Kingdom. If that is happening in San Diego, it's going to be happening in the UK as well. If there's poo in the sea, which we know, if there's poo in the rivers and seas, we know, well, especially the seas, because you've got the breaking waves, and they said this, the intensity is more where the waves are breaking, and that's when you get your sea mist and stuff, your sea spray, your sea spray with the wind and the breaking waves and carrying all those little micro particles. And someone mentioned in the comments, actually, my video that I put up this morning about that's why you should put your toilet seat down before you flush it. Otherwise you get micro droplets, microbial droplets, bacteria on your toothbrush. Bits of poo on your toothbrush. There you go. Electric one ain't gonna save you. Electric toothbrush, an Oral-B ain't gonna save you, no. So when after you clean your teeth, it's a little bit of black stuff on your teeth. Or maybe a little bit of corn. I ain't no corn, no, but you know how it goes. Yeah.
What? I didn't have any corn.
So the bathing water quality has been rated poor at Heacham. So it's not going to be Heacham. It's going to be all the way around the coastline, pretty much. Those food places have got clean water. I'm just going to let my dog out. 2 seconds. You want to go wee, Wally? He wants a wee. Not a Wally. Let's just check these chats. Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm afraid that's terrible. Yeah, my little Wally. Got my little Wally here again. Brown cliffs of Dover. Yes, you could call them that. Actually, eventually they'll turn brown, won't they, from the sea mist? I'm in Hastings and never go in the sea again. No, don't. No, don't. And definitely do not eat the shellfish, because there's some of the warnings that have been going on. Do not eat the shellfish, because they're filter feeders. And all the E. coli and norovirus and salmonella, whatever else is in there, ends up getting trapped in these in the filter feeders. Yeah, bivalve mollusks. And yeah, then you eat it, and in fact, you're eating that bacteria. Because their digestive system's not like ours, just like the birds. Because the birds are suffering at the moment as well, and we'll get into that in a moment, yeah. Oh, the best asbestosis. We've got a bit of an issue, I think. Wait, that we rarely had. Up we go. Then we'll get into the food then. There we go. That one there. I was in the super chats. Not super chats. The the chat. Chat. Woof. Bark, says Vic. Hello, Baby. Hope you're well. Right about when I was sinking my teeth. Sorry about that, Baby. I won't do it again. Oh dear. Gracias, Joa. What did Joa say to you? Clean beaches here are money for us all, so everyone. Yes. This is the same thing regarding what we were saying earlier about the health service. If you don't look after people's health, well, then you ain't got an economy. It's just like if you don't look after your beaches, you haven't got a coastal trade. Who's got the word just get out, you know? I said, no, don't swim in that water. No. Oh. Pink toilet paper is dead giveaway. And that other thing with a little string attached. Floating by. Yeah, you know. Ooh. All that stuff. Because I don't know if you understand how you got combined sewage outlets. They call them storm overflows. And the idea behind them is they have like basically, there's different systems, but one system is just like a wall in the pipe. So if, for instance, the wall, if you've got your pipes going along like so, and then you have a little wall halfway up-ish in that pipe. That pipe then, one side of that pipe goes to the sea, the other side goes to your home, effectively. And then down here, effectively that pipe comes across. Oh my God, actually, this, isn't it? I got a pencil. I use a pencil. I'll draw a picture. That's what I do. Hope that'll show up on that. Oh yeah, I'm getting there. So I hope this going that way. Normally, down there. Right. That's basically it. Your poop travels from your home down here, and normally it will come down here to the sewage works. That goes to the sewage works here, you see. But if this backs up, the difference reversed for me. If this backs up, and there's too much stuff, it then goes over the top. Usually, it should only be the lights there, the cleaner water, because it'll be flushing over the top, and then it goes to the sea. So then that goes to the sea, and that's the storm overflows. And the idea is that the sewage works is protected, but the sewage works has also got a great big. Oh my God, I made a hash of that. Oh my God. That's how it's a big valve effect. Big, I can shut it off there, which effectively has the effect of backing it up, and then it'll overflow out to sea. What a mess I made of that. That's what happened to try to draw on a floppy bit of paper. So they can cause the storm overflows, but what gets me is a lot of times when these storm overflows come into effect, there's not even when there's been a storm. It's just that they can't cope with it, or they're making more money. Because there's less chemicals, less processing, the fact they haven't got the capacity because they haven't been investing. So obviously it's going out to sea. And it's happening more now than it's ever done before. Because of Brexit. Because they got fined, you see. Cool. Now they only start paying back fines that are pre the end of the transition period. Some fines about 300 million. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how many discharges. It's just madness. This is just absolute madness. There's a lack of investment. And we're seeing it across the board now, aren't we? With our hospitals, potholes, the roads. So I've been told. So I'm not going back there. A bit worried. No? Might get something. Might get E. coli. Cockles and mussels. Cockles and mussels. A brown. Oh, I used to love cockles. As long as they've been washed properly. The cockles you're supposed to put them with like flour and water. Or depurate them or something, like you're supposed to do with the oysters, and that's the reason why you can't export them into the EU unless they've been depurated, and then they don't survive because they've got nothing in the guts. Effectively, they're starving to death. Yeah, not great, is it? Hello, just saying. A good evening, Chris Fisher. I've got Chris Fisher here as well. Oh, hello, Chris Fisher. Hope you're well. And Perry. Hello, Perry. UK true crime. Can you see what it is yet? What? Number 3. I'm going down the chat. I am. Regulation is bad. Profit is good, says Chris Fisher. Are you being sarcastic? I think so. Where are we? A cold, creeping evil is at work. Yes, not wrong. It is. The media help this madness, and they should be held accountable because the politicians never will be. Says Daniel Craggy. I have to agree. They're always lapping up to the Tories. Well, God, what was it now? The Telegraph. One of the papers was literally, they were paying for snippets of information so they get the heads up before anybody else. Whelks. Oh, Whelks. What's a kid? I like cockles. Not so much on Whelks. Hated jelly eels. Yeah, but it was all sort of seaside stuff. And when we used to go in Great Yarmouth. Oh my God, it's all Brexiters there. All Brexit. They voted Brexit there, you see, in Great Yarmouth. Well, that place has gone down now. It really has. And there used to be the market, the Great Yarmouth Market, and fantastic fish and chips. All different flavours of vinegar as well, like garlic vinegar and stuff. Chili vinegar, and all these different vinegars and different sauces. Yeah, that's really cool. And also had little fish stalls where you can, like a Norwich market as well. Where I'm from, you better get your jelly deals and your cockles. But even a crab as carnivores, it's different digestive systems. It's not quite so much of an issue. Yeah, because it will break it down. But the live bivalve mollusks, the way they feed, literally sucking it all in and just gets trapped in the system, effectively. Not great, is it? Rest them all, says Mellow. I think you should. Do it now. They don't care, says Perry UK True Crime. They don't care what the water is like in the United Kingdom when they're holding Greece and the Maldives. Just like Michelle Moan. She's on holiday again. And after she got raided, she bought another house, for 3 million euros or pounds, whatever it was. Yeah. With your money. You know Michelle Moan. She's House of Lords now. Yeah. She's a knicker model. Pretty much. They just write fines off as well, but the thing is, this is stuff they're doing is criminal. If you or I did half the stuff what they did, we would be in jail. We wouldn't get away with it, yet they are getting away with it left, right, and center. Free the turnips! Oh dear. Anyway, my next little story happens to be an environmental story. And this is actually really serious. And cause you heard of, obviously, microplastics and stuff. Well, a new disease they've found. And it's been discovered in seabirds. They think of asbestosis. Not with plastics. Not asbestos. Now, if you know what asbestosis is, it's basically the scarring of the pleural layers in your lungs. So, as somebody who's been in the construction industry, it's something I had to have, had to know about. So health and safety and stuff. They employ people. Anyway, asbestos fibres end up in your lungs and they just stay there in themselves. It's not really, I suppose, really, it's not really a disease, but they stay there. But they've got barbs on them. They scratch and scratch and scratch inside your lungs. in the pleural and you scratch all your pleural layers in your lungs, eventually that turns to scar tissue, which reduces, well, your volume. You can't breathe. You've got so much volume. You struggle to breathe. You've just got scarred lungs. It takes years and years and years and years and years for it to be an issue. You don't know. Now, my uncle, or Caroline's uncle, I should say, actually, my dear wife's uncle, Uncle Barry, well, he used to do plastering. I think I told the story before. And he used to plaster, and when he was younger, he used to work doing insulation and stuff like that. Like the kind of insulation he used to put on old pipe work and the submarines and stuff. Coming in bags. Shovel this, got bags of asbestos powder, and I've got chalk and show and lime in it. You mix it into a paste, you wad it around all the pipes and that, and then you wrap it in like a hessian, the insulation to protect the pipes. Well, you don't realise you've got a problem until several years later, 20, 30 years later maybe, and then you die from asbestosis. Well, he's got asbestosis, but he isn't dead yet. But he's struggling to breathe. Not great. It really is not great at all. And that's a bit like what this new disease is. It's a form of a bit like asbestosis, but not the lungs. No. Well, we have to be clear that they're saying it's discovered in seabirds. We have to remember that the birds' digestive system is not the same as humans. They poop and pee at the same hole, basically. But it's interesting nevertheless, because at the end of the day, it's potentially a problem for us as well. The Natural History Museum scientists say that plasticosis, which scars the digestive tract, is likely to affect other types of bird too. Obviously, we like to have birds, and chickens don't live that long anyway, but we need them to sort of like do their thing, don't we? They've got to live long enough to be able to keep the populations up. A new disease caused solely by plastics has been discovered in seabirds, and the birds identified as having the disease, named plasticosis. They have scarred digestive tracts. Not great, no. And I forgot where we are. From ingesting the waste. So they're ingesting these plastics, microplastics, and it's basically scratching the innards. And scientists at the Natural History Museum in London say, and it is the first recorded instance of specifically plastic-induced fibrosis in wild animals, researchers say. The plastic pollution becoming so prevalent that the scarring was widespread across different ages of birds, according to the study. Published in the Journal of Hazardous Materials. Young birds were found to have the disease, and it is through chicks were being fed the plastic pollution by parents accidentally bringing it back in food. But the particles are so tiny, they wouldn't know. In fact, it's been found in the flesh of animals, microplastic. I need to have a drink, my mouth's already dry. I don't know how to talk. Now, scientists, including the Natural History Museum, Dr. Alex Bond and Dr. Jennifer Lavers, studied flesh-footed shearwaters from the Australia's Lord Howe Island. This is a bit of a mouthful. Lord Howe Island, to look at the relationship between levels of ingested plastic and the preventriculus organ. Ooh, we'll see. The first part of the bird's stomach. It's like in chickens, they've got like a gizzard. Chickens, they're constantly pecking away and they stick little bits of grit in them, little stones and all sorts of stuff. And in fact, they grind their food down. Plastic into the bird had ingested, and more scarring it had. So they found that the more plastic a bird had ingested, the more scarring it had. The disease can lead to the gradual breakdown of tubular organs in the preventriculus. Losing these glands can cause the birds to become more vulnerable to infection and parasites, and affect their ability to digest food and absorb some of the vitamins. The researchers called the fibrotic disease plasticosis. Oh, sketchy. To make it clear that it was caused by plastic in the environment. Now, when the birds ingest small pieces of plastic they found, it inflames the digestive tract over time, and the persistent inflammation causes tissues to become scarred and disfigured, affecting digestion, growth, and survival. Maybe we can get Alexander Boris to Pfeffel Johnson. Eat some. Oh, yeah. Okay. Natural materials found in the stomachs of birds, such as pumice stones, did not cause the same problems. Because that's how they digest the food, and did not cause the same problems, leading scientists to label this specifically a plastic-caused disease. Bond, principal curator in charge of birds at the Natural History Museum, said that while these birds can look healthy on the outside, they're not doing too well on the inside. So this study is the first time that stomach tissues has been investigated in this way, and shows that plastic consumption can cause serious damage to the bird's digestive system. Well, my question would be, is it possible this issue could also affect humans in some way? They're saying that the plastics can cause scarring. They're saying that they're rough or sharp or something like that. Microplastics. No, I've heard this diatomaceous earth. Like ground fossils, you get the food grade stuff and stuff like that. You use it in for pest control. You see that stuff goes into that when it goes on to insects. That insects are like exoskeleton. Effectively rips them to pieces. It damages. Cause they're so sharp. All these little pieces, so sharp. It kills insects. So you can use that in pest control. And kind of the same thing, but us on the outside. Apparently it's harmless to human beings. Now I've got my doubts now. I already have. I think I'll be using that again in the greenhouses. And natural materials found in the stomachs of birds, pumice stones, are not a problem either. They've managed to pinpoint it down to plastics. So my question would be, is there a possibility that us humans, because we'll be human, are we at risk of digesting plastics? Not unless you're just digesting, but inhaling and all sorts of stuff. It's just everywhere, isn't it now? We've caused this problem. Lifestyle thing. We've gone down a certain route, haven't we? And everything's tucked in front of us in packets. Saying that, I have to admit, in France, I don't know if you saw my video when I was going around the supermarket. I'm going to do some more of those, by the way. Around the supermarket, and I think if you looked at the fruit and veg, and very few packets. Because Macron brought a law out, basically there's certain weights and stuff like that where you're allowed to put things into packaging. Other than that, it has to be loose. We don't get many products. Not many products are actually in packets. Because, makes a lot more sense if you ask me. So it's quite nice as well to just come pick your veg. Not off the plant, but we could do if you ain't got a plant. But if in the supermarket, obviously off a tray, off the display. And we have got lots of tomatoes, by the way, and turnips. I think I'll be getting into the other problem. These are all things that come into the news in the last week. And some of them have sort of been dragging on a bit, really. Like, for instance, the food issue. Something that's been going on for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Regarding the turnips and tomatoes. Cucumbers. And Lee Corn, I don't know if he's here today, but Lee Corn from Snowflake Show. He did a little video, if anyone's seen it, and quite fun, where he went around through supermarkets to try and find tomatoes, and actually turnips. He couldn't find no turnips. So, I've got 61 likes. 2 seconds. Bum 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 bum. Go. Oh, I keep getting my voice mixed up. The moose, loose about the hoose was a mouse. Hello, Nigger Schmidt. I hope you're well, my friend. Plastic wrappings are disappearing here, says Joa. Yeah, we're definitely finding it the same. My little Waddy's whining again, so I dare say it's time for a Waddy treat. But you need to do something for it. Right. That's You didn't see that, did you? Good. I just nearly went arse over. Ah, oh, damn it. There's a ledge. Yeah, I'm on a bit of a stage here, you see. Bit of a stage. Oh dear. That was close. And all my other dogs are obviously gone upstairs to see. Yep, they're not there. Nope. What are they like, eh? Traitors. That's what they are. Traitors. I'm the one with the treats. I know what it is. They're gone upstairs. I bet they're on my bed. Caroline's gone to bed, you see. She didn't feel too well. And I bet the dogs are gone to bed. I bet you put the electric blanket on. Looked like an industrial accident. Yes, it was a bit like an industrial accident. In my wisdom, I haven't actually... I need to replace the floor in this office. Because it sinks in the middle. Just a little bit. But enough to be annoying if you're on a weedy chair. And I kept rolling into the middle of the room. Which isn't such a great idea. So I created a little stage for this lot to sit on here. Yeah, that's for this all to sit on. So effectively, this is on like a little stage where I leveled the floor. This is a temporary arrangement, so we can just get the whole lot flat. So I didn't wheel away. But the problem is, there's a ledge, and you fall off the ledge. Not a great idea. So it wasn't my wisest, idea at all. And we have bioplastics already, yeah, and they have a lifetime around 5 years. Because we've obviously got vegetable-based plastics. Oh, God, go outside now. He's very needy, my dog. Dogs, hey? I don't know. Yeah, so you've got the bioplastics regarding vegetable-based plastics. There's other ones as well now, aren't there? No. Anything I will say is that some of them aren't that biodegradable. They do biodegrade, but some of these, like ones used for composting and stuff like that, especially we've used them and they don't degrade fully. So you get some parts of the bag will be full of holes and stuff, but you still got bits of plastic in it. Well, only the vegetable-based plastic, and that's after like 2 years of being turned over in the compost. It takes too long. Let's just not use anything, and also anything that you do use, obviously, is another product that has to be produced and transported, etc., isn't it? More resources being used for something that really we're just chucking in the bin. Or in a compost, in this case. Not great. Oh, cheers, boy.
So, you have accepted the truth.
Oh, need to submit. Oh, cheers, my friend. Some epoxy needed for the floor. No epoxy needed. The wooden floors. There's no floor. And the floor is actually quite nice, but it's got a bit of a swamp in it. Because it's probably been like that for donkey's years. The beams underneath like that, yeah, it wasn't great, beams on the floor joists, and but they're quite far apart. But they were probably put in green, and needless to say, the weight of them put in green as well. They as it dries, it just sunk, so they got a little bit of a swamp in them, quite common. And what I should have done is rip the floor and put new floor down, or put furrings in and relay the boards if possible. But the oak is so hard, very hard to remove the boards without splitting the timber. Can be done, but it's ages. Chop all the nails off, basically. Anyway, that's another story. Alistair, chat. You all have a great night, etc. Got to go and have... You've got an early start tomorrow. You take care, my friend. Thank you, Alistair. Really appreciate it, my friend. Oh, Vipec. Free. Free. What's free say? Portugal sounds good. You know, I've never been to Portugal. In so many places, I've never been to Portugal. I think that's somewhere we need to go in the camper when I get back on the road days. I hate our politicians, says Joa, but they are competent. And I have to admit it. Are your politicians boring, Joa? Boring but competent? Because that'd be a refreshing change. I think people would be quite excited about the idea of having a boring politician. You take care, Alistair. Have a good week, bud. The most ironic thing about my country is that people are always complaining, and meanwhile, things change. Well, people always complaining in the United Kingdom. The problem is they vote for the wrong people. It's painful to see. It really is. Take care, Ruth. Anyway, what about apples? They've been grubbing, they have. The farmers, the apple orchards. I'll just let my Wally back in. Running around my feet, he is. Little what, there you go, boy. Yeah, apples and pears could be the next food shortage. Farmers are warning, but also leaks. Oh, apples and pears. Well, this was brought to my attention about a week ago. I think someone put in the comments. You know, I do actually read the comments. Quite hard sometimes to read all those comments. I used to do it when I'm on the toilet. But anyway, about the grubbing farmers in Kent who are grubbing out, which basically means they're digging up, going to the diggers and pulling the trees up. Apple orchard. But also, they're not every year. Normally, they buy something like 800,000 800,000 odd fresh apple trees every single year to replenish old, the dying stock and stuff like that. We're talking about obviously thousands of hectares worth of apple orchard. So many farms are finding it's not viable anymore. So they're saying, well, sod this. And they're giving up. Just like the greenhouse growers who are applying for planning permission and they got it to take down the greenhouses. So they'll probably be housing or something instead. Oh no, maybe not, because they're not building, are they? But apples and pears could be the next UK food shortage. Farmers warn. The growers say they do not get paid enough, and I've said this. How many times have I said that in videos? By supermarket. As supply of leeks also comes under threat. When was it? That was the 24th of February. I did a video about that actually back then, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there was another article here. There we go. One, or was it that one? Oh wait, February. Oh, it's not that one either. I got the wrong article. But anyway, basically, the farmers can't afford to make ends meet. Obviously, the cost of living crisis, energy prices, and everything is imported, including the trees they've got to buy. Replace them, all imported. The apples and pears could be the next food shortage in the UK after it emerged that the British growers are planting just a third of the numbers of trees needed to maintain orchards, saying that their returns from selling to supermarkets is unsustainable. Ali Kappa, head of the British Apples and Pears Trade Association, which represents about 8% of the industry in the United Kingdom, said 1 million new trees the 1 million new trees would need to be planted every single year to maintain the UK's 5,500 hectares of apple production. 13,590 acres. I think it's 4,200 square metres to an acre. I think that's about right. Anyway, and the hectares are 10,000 square metres. This year's farmers had planned to order just 480,000 apple and pear trees, but that has been slashed to 330,000. The Kappa said that the key reason for the lack of investment was supermarket returns are just unsustainable. We're just so many different directions now. Food security in the United Kingdom has been hitting all so many different ways since this is Brexit, really. If there's a problem regarding transportation, they get delivered to the closest places first. If there's a shortage, not problem transportation, a problem of shortage of food from many EU countries, well, obviously it stays in the EU. It doesn't end up in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom now just gets the whatever's surplus. Not exactly good for food security, is it? She said that food growers' costs had increased by about 23% as the cost of picking. Yeah. Why is that Brexit? Because we can't get the workers. Because before we were getting the workers, maybe from Romania and places like that, which is too costly now. And they've got enough work anyway where they are. I think we were getting some from Tibet at one place. At one point, the visas were cut short. These people who took out loans to come over because of they spun a line saying, "Oh, you can earn all this money," and then they're sent home early. They're not going to come back again, are they? There's risen, so picking, energy, haulage, and packaging. Partly that'll be down to the CO2 gases as well, which has all gone up in price. Had risen, but that being met by less than 1% increase in returns. The majority of growers are losing money. So are some of the stores as well, such as the corner stores or groceries, where they can't sell the product because at the price they need to sell it for. So one grower was saying that one farm store was saying he's losing £14 per box of tomatoes. It is. This model we've kind of embraced by the supermarkets, and supermarkets are pushed. It's just not sustainable. People need to be paid. That's why we've got problems obviously with the nurses and the doctors and candlestick makers. They all want to be paid. So some are planning to quit the industry, and others have effectively mothballed their orchards or grubbing them up, which is literally just digging them up. So they'll use land for something else. Not going to return. No. It's not. You can't just grow apple trees overnight. They take years and years to mature to be able to produce apples. And normally, like we were saying earlier in this article, normally these apple trees, the ones that die off, will be replaced or they expand their orchard. That's not happening now. So the future of the apple and pear growing in the UK is seriously in doubt. No more Cox's orange pippins for you. No. So Britain has already facing shortages of multiple fresh food items, prompting Tesco's, Asda, Aldi, and Morrison's. Well, they've all been limiting, haven't they? Been doing it for a couple of weeks. They've been limiting certain lines of foods, and it's obviously a problem. You can't get the food, you've got to share it out somehow. But this is all their own doing. And the prices, they have got to go up. They're too cheap. But also, we need to make sure that the growers are getting the money if their prices do go up, because, I don't know, but I don't trust this lot. Well, the shortages have been triggered by cold weather in Spain. We've got no problems at all getting food. I have to admit the prices here aren't great on some things. Sometimes they're okay, and another week they're terrible. I've seen prices for cauliflower like €4.60 for a cauliflower. Okay, admittedly, it's the more local supermarket, a small Super U Express, but still, that's ridiculously expensive. So the shortage has been triggered by cold weather. That just gets me out. Yes, it's caused a shortage, but if we're in the EU, we'd be more likely to be. Well, if we had a different buying strategy by the supermarket, maybe we'd have more luck in getting the foodstuffs. Much of this stuff, it can't come from miles away in the sense of, like, I don't know, from CPTPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, whatever it might be. It's just too far to transport these goods. They just end up, it'd be rotten by the time you get them. It's even meat stuff that comes from things, Australia and what have you. Fresh meat, it's going to be sold as fresh meat, but be part frozen on the journey. It ain't ready fresh, is it? No, but sold as fresh. The shortages have been triggered by the cold weather. Horlicks. And by the cutbacks by British and Dutch growers who plant salads under grass at this time of year. Now, many of the greenhouse growers, they decided that they were going to hang on a bit. So they didn't heat the greenhouses. Just cuts, save some money, basically. Also pushes the price up of their product if they can get more for it. But a lot of the stuff is grown under contract that was signed probably last year, so they might not be able to get more money for it. Or they might just go against the contracts and sell it to somebody else. And you break the contract. But then obviously there's a fee involved then. As growers say, supermarkets were not prepared to cover the increased cost of heating. Well, when you consider the amount of money these supermarkets make, you know, although they did quite well post-Brexit, keeping the supermarket shelves stocked up. I know we had the food little glitches, but it wasn't horrendous, was it? But they had to work overtime to be able to make it work. Some importers say Brexit. Oh, I do. Brexit. Oh, since a whole load of numpties put that cross in the wrong box that they did. Now, some importers say that Brexit has also meant that the UK is at the back of the queue. I said that from day one. It's obvious. Urgh. Those countries or places that are the furthest away from the place of origin, such as Morocco, for instance, regarding the tomatoes, needless to say, they are going to be the ones who will get served last. Sorry, Scotland. Yeah, some importers say that Brexit has also meant the UK is at the back of the queue behind the European Union when competing to buy scarce fresh produce because of the increased costs and bureaucracy associated with the shipments over the channel. You only get the surplus stuff, and that's if they can be bothered. Now, many lorry drivers, they just don't want to go there anyway. They don't want to be hanging about, do they? Waiting to get across. I know they say there's no checks now at the moment, but there's still potential duties and stuff like that. Because no one's checking. You still have to do it. You still have to be prepared. It comes as, it's like oh, Wally. It's like in the, they expect the UK customs and Her Majesty's Customs and HMRC, Revenues and Customs. If you're selling something to somebody in the United Kingdom, you've got to in the EU, we have, say for instance, if I want to sell something to you in the United Kingdom, I have to apply to get myself a VAT number with the UK and prepay the tax, the VAT. And I send it over. So we become tax collectors. So many European Union businesses, small enterprises decide that we won't export to the UK anymore. So you get losses all right across the board. It's not just food. So it comes as nearly a fifth, 18% of the UK adults said that they had experienced shortages of essential food items in the past few weeks. According to the Office for National Statistics, up to 13% a year, up from 13% a year ago. As food importers say, Britain's exit from the European Union continues to mean higher costs and potential hold-ups because of extra bureaucracy. And then we've got Dolly's coffee. And a turnip. Hashtag coffee turnip. Dolly's coffee. The Environment Minister, and she blocked me on Twitter, she did, said that on Thursday she expected the shortages of some fresh food items to last up to a month and the rest. Because as one ends, another one's going to start. But some British growers say that shortages could last until May. What's that, like 2 months? Or 3 months? Anyway. Kofi suggested in the same session in Parliament that the British householders might cherish their British turnips instead. Oh, God, she's a turnip, isn't she?
A lot of people would be eating turnips right now rather than thinking necessarily about aspects of lettuce and tomato.
No, thank you. I'm no lover of turnips. Never ate out of that, anyone? Eat seasonal. Actually, to be fair, when I was growing up, when I was a boy, a lot of these veggies and tomatoes, even a lot of the stuff you buy today, if it wasn't in season, you couldn't easily get it. In fact, we didn't have the Tesco's. I remember when I was growing up, our first local supermarket, was a Budgeons, not Bugdens, a Budgeons. I think that's how we wrote it around. Anyway, he built a new one. Mr. Budgeon built a new supermarket, Blue Ball Road, and then about a year later, he sold it to Tesco's, and still there today. And then Mr. Budgeons died shortly after, so I wouldn't be surprised he found out that he was ill. Anyway, that's another story. But we used to buy food in season because that's all that was available. But we have options there. Why go backwards? Trying to make out that such what we should be doing is buying seasonal crops. Yeah, okay, maybe we should. But if choices are available to us, why the hell not? Why wouldn't you? Although environmentally, it's not a great idea. Buying seasonally makes a lot of sense there, but on the other hand, I have to admit, I do like fresh tomatoes, even though they're not really fresh and they've got thicker skins and they're a bit watery and not so great, are they, in the winter months? No, like a lot of these veg. Never understood a cucumber anyway, either, to be honest. It's like a stick of water, isn't it? Getting heavy instead. The Kobe suggested the same thing in the same session in Parliament that the British households might cherish a British turnips instead of unseasonal crops from abroad. By Friday morning, however, Tesco's website, it sold out of Tesco's. I did a video about that, as you probably remember if you watched it. Yeah, they sold out of not just Tesco's, but also Asda as well, and Aldi. But Tesco's, actually, what happens if it's out of stock, it doesn't show up on the website. But they were out of stock. British field crops, including leeks, carrots and kale, have also been affected by frosts before Christmas. See, that makes no sense. Because they're hardy. Leeks are hardy, carrots are hardy, kale's hardy. Not generally no, that'd be fine. Especially carrots and leeks. Parsnips, for instance, they're better after they've had a frost. Rubbish, shouldn't they, really? But they say it reduced harvest. I thought what reduced harvest was not that. It was actually the problems we had last year and drought. And the ground was very, very dry and the air temperature was too high. For a lot of these veg, you see, take a long while to grow. And as such, they're late to germinate because it's just too, if what happens is, you see, if you don't get them germinated quickly in season, well, what happens is when it comes, they won't grow enough. But by the time it's too cold, and then they just go dormant and just sit there in the ground, do nothing until it warms up again, and then you'll get all the green growth coming from the veg that you should have picked or harvested, and just to go to seed. Tim Cassie, the chairman of the Leek Growers Association, never realised there was such a thing, but apparently there's a Leek Growers Association, said that the British leeks, maybe they talk about the leaks in the roof of the hospitals, might be difficult to find for St David's Day this year, and leek farmers are facing their most difficult season ever due to the challenging weather conditions. I've got leeks in my garden now. The only thing I would admit, they're small. They're not as big. I don't even know it's for your cauliflowers and cabbages and stuff in the United Kingdom. They're not very big. Not as big, your fleur, they're not at all. Right, so that's one of the problems we're facing at the moment. And they're digging up the orchard. There are no apples and pears. Eventually, we'll have... All that does is it means we'll be more reliant on imports. Thankfully, for things like apples... not so much pears, but you can store pears, but not for so long. Apples you can actually store in the right conditions for quite a long time. And obviously all the apples we're probably eating now are probably stored from last fall. It's not very helpful. I'm getting close to my time. I'll try and keep 2 hours today if I can. I keep going too long, don't I? And I get tired and I start slurring my words. Gods! Chris Fisher! What's happened? What's happened? What have I missed something? What have I missed? Chris Fisher, I'm good, man. I was on Navarra too. Didn't see you. I was just listening to, man. It was interesting. Oh no, it was at Navarra Media. I'm good, thanks. Hello, Stu. Oh, Stu's here. Bit of a conversation going on here. Keep it up, keep it up. Kofi's had too many effing turnips. Certainly had a lot of carbohydrates. I'm not allowed carbs at the moment because I'm on a diet. I'm down though. I'm under 95 kilos now, so I'm going the right way. I was almost a ton. 100 kilos nearly. I was just, oh my God, I got to get quick. I don't get over the 100 mark. So I thought about do something about it on keto. Yeah, daily keto strip tests as well. See if I've got ketones in my urine. Lovely, isn't it? I'll show you what I didn't know that. So lots of meat and fat, basically. But I have to admit, I'm not hungry. Probably because there's nothing to eat. And I'm bored of cheese. How can you be bored of cheese in France? Too much cheese. Cats hate cucumber. I didn't know that. Kofi and Rees-Mogg certainly want to take us back to the Victorian times. Most certainly do. 50 years, or 47 odd years now, isn't there? When you get the benefits of Brexit. Oh, Budgeons. Budgeons are still a small... Yeah, there's Bugdons and then Budgeons. There's two different ones. Small local shop in my town. Oh, right, cool. I hate turnips, says Joa. Do you like navet tartiflette? Navet tartiflette? I don't mind that. That's not too bad, but I'm not a great lover of turnips. And yes, turnips. There's also the other one called kohlrabi. It's just it's like a I don't know. It's like a mutated turnip. And then there's people who try to make out they're like Swedes, but they've got nothing to do with Swede family. Well, they're part of the same family, but they're not the same. It's like I think you realise it's peppers, potatoes, and tomatoes all are all the same family. They're the nightshade family, you see. Anyway, that's now a story. Well, anyway, a story, is it really? Anyway. I have been over 100. Oh my God, the aunts do. Oh, I have. I was before and I lost 20 kilos. That was on keto last time. It worked for a while. Then I started eating again. But you might think I'm crazy, but I weigh myself every day. When I don't, is when I start putting weight on. So then I end up going down the spiral and start drinking too much, eating too much, putting too much weight on. You know, and it doesn't take much for me to put weight on anyway, because of thyroid. Yeah, problems. Scales. What? Scales and battery gone to EU? Oh, they have. Batteries, as in, like, for instance, Jaguar, are sourcing their batteries from the EU now, aren't they? And there's a lot of battery manufacturing plants opening up all over the European Union, but also for semiconductors as well. I think they're a bit concerned about what's going to be going on in crikey. Name of the company now. In Taiwan. So yeah, China's making those moves. It looks like it's not very optimistic. But then again, we haven't got a very good track record. We can't even get our own. We don't. Our allies, people who helped us in Afghanistan, we deserted them. It was like about 13 years ago when we invaded Afghanistan. 400 odd soldiers, British soldiers, died, killed. There's people over there still who just effectively in hiding because they're very, very concerned they're going to be killed in retaliation for their efforts to help British and Americans. My girls went to 3 supermarkets to get peppers today and was told that they can get 3 each. Rationing. They've been rationed. Did they have a ration app? Christopher. Like war rationing, Brexit rationing. It's really beyond belief, I know. Welcome to the Brexit. What if I can find? No, I can't find it. Oh dear. Too much stuff on here. Oh, there we go.
Or not?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, then we take them off. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, can I take off the meat and leave me the bread?
No, everything will be confiscated.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Oh my.
Gotta love the Dutch, eh? Rationing peppers. If I was there, I could have bought you an extra free. Oh, we could have done. You've gone in together. What happens though if you just come out of the store and go back in again and get another 3 peppers? Maybe go to a different till, get another 3 peppers. Unless you've got your ration app, obviously that put paid to that. But I can see it getting a lot worse before it's going to get better. That's my feeling anyway. Come here, AllShorts, and you will have a good weight loss as you don't want to eat what we have here. No, I don't. I don't want to get E. coli from your coastline either. No. Or from your drinking water. The E. coli has been found in the drinking water in the United Kingdom, actually in Norfolk. Not a bit disconcerting because all my kids are. Oh, wouldn't you just eat them there and then? What, the peppers? You could do. You could eat once you're going around, couldn't you? I have done that, not with a pepper though. Raw peppers in a salad is great. I do love peppers. I actually like green peppers. I find red peppers a little bit on the sweet side. But peppers, there's no problems getting peppers here at the moment, but our local supermarket, they were pretty pricey. I was in Intermarché here, and they were very pricey. It was like, €3.50. They're $3.99 they were, for 3 peppers. I think it was a bit pricey for peppers. Very annoying because in the summer months when we're growing peppers, we can't get. We've got too many, and so what we do is we freeze them. We don't blanch or anything like that. We just chop them up and put them straight in the freezer. So it seems to work quite well. The same with the chilies, or we dry the chilies. They dry quite easily. And we do have a dryer, but you can just hang them up and dry. If you've got these, fairly dry climate, not in the, it's raining and stuff and humid, obviously you wouldn't do it. But if it's fairly hot, you can just, what we used to do is just stick a wire through the chilies and just hang them up in the kitchen. They look cool, sort of. The green peppers, raw bell peppers, are excellent and great for your immune system. They also apparently help with weight loss as well. Are there any limits on how many peppers you can steal? I asked my local Bobby. Oh no. They've rationed the Bobbies. They have. I can remember the days. We had a Bobby on the beat. Mr. Spencer? Oh. I'll come to him in a minute. You know, Jay. You know, Jay. Anyway, we had a Bobby on the beat. And he knew everybody. And I was born in 1970, so it wasn't that long ago. A hell of a long while ago. Feel so old all of a sudden. Meat sandwiches. The meat sandwich. Oh, okay. Yeah, the ham sandwiches. Ham sandwiches with cheese. Subject to phytosanitary restrictions. Well, these restrictions will be going the other direction. Not too long in the future. I don't know, not checking at the moment, but they will be. The ETIAS system has been delayed in the EU again, which is a good thing because that's gonna. I don't know what. Maybe it's because I don't know the reason behind it. I haven't actually looked too much into it, but I could imagine the setting the infrastructure alone is going to cost an absolute fortune. Some places already got it in, haven't they? A lot of the airports already using the digital turnstiles and stuff. You know, special lane for you Brits. For medical reasons, I got used to eating raw vegetables during my childhood, and these days it's normal for me. No. On one of my other diets, because I've had several diets, I yo-yo. So, the guy, I used to go to the gym a lot one time, and I used to be quite trim. I had muscles on me. I'm turned to fat now. And one of the people I used to go to the gym with, his name was James. And he worked for a health food company. Also, he had his own ideas and what have you. And he came over to us, the warm salads and stuff like that. He'd make us and stuff as a part of like a, I'll cook for you kind of thing. We'll come over. And he's a lovely guy. He really was a lovely guy. Anyway, he made these warm salads, and we got very used to these warm salads. Really nice. Olives and anyway, really nice salads. And he said, this is nuts. You got think it's a bit of a fruitarian. Basically, you've got to cut the pescatarian. I don't know. Got to cut the veg in a certain way, and the knives got to be super sharp because they have feelings. They have like an aura or something like they have a. Oh, anyway, there's orbs everywhere and stuff. Anyway, yeah, he's nuts. And then when he started suggesting we sat on a bucket of milk like they do in India to draw the worms out, that kind of concerned me somewhat. I thought maybe we'll put a pay to this now. I'm not sitting on a bucket of blooming milk to draw my worms out. No. How about you? Leave it in the chat. Would you? Oh, so when I was a lad, we had nout. Pure Hovis. It was a loaf of bread. Not diet or short, actual medical reasons, a form of anemia. Oh, I see. Interesting. Do you ride your bike with a basket up a big hill? with Hovis? Oh dear, they were the days. Oh, mouse. Go. So, two supermarkets had none, and the third one is saying 1 bag of free per customer. So that's nuts, isn't it? Pepper pilfering. You're a PP. London grad, yes. Wouldn't you just eat them there and then? I've said that one already. Kohlrabi is great. Slice thin and sprinkle with salt. Have a mababia and a blazon. What that is? What's a blazon? Is that a bread or something? A mab. A mab? How do you say that? M-A-B with that weird B. Interesting. Kohlrabi. I've grown those sort of brassicas are quite hard to grow or to keep pest free, especially if you're trying to do like an eco garden, an organic garden, sorry. And the flea beetle is a nightmare to try and keep under control, especially without pesticides, because they just jump off. As soon as you go near them, they just jump off. You have to put all these like sticky pads everywhere to catch the flea beetle. The problem with that is the birds get stuck to them. So it got to be really difficult. It's difficult. What do you do? Turnips or turnips? Do. Yep. When things got cold in our house, we'd throw Grandma on the fire. All at once? Ah, trumpet. The British tourists used to talk about eggs. Now it's the veggies and egg, or I think you can't get eggs. Now, eggs here have gone up in price quite considerably. I remember saying, I think last week, the week before, I was sort of saying that eggs had gone up from about €1 for the cheapest eggs. For €1 for 10 eggs, went to 1.55, and now it's €2.05 now for eggs. So the prices here have gone up. I'm not just, but we have got it. That's the difference. So but we are having to pay a premium. I'm just looking forward to the growing season because we're going to go mad this year with food. We'll make sure of it. And we do have we've already got about 80 litres of tomatoes and ratatouille and curries and stuff. Maybe more than that, actually. We've got a lot anyway in the cupboard from last year. And because I'm doing this diet at the moment, I can't eat too many tomatoes because I've got so much sugars in them. So, you've got to keep your carbs down to about 50 grams of carbs a day. You've got to be careful. And no alcohol. I haven't drank anything for weeks now. Not a thing. I do miss a nice glass of red wine, I have to admit. Hopefully I can lose the weight before the summer, and then I can have a glass of red wine and a beer, maybe. But I still got to be careful. I'll soon put the weight back on. Not careful. We'd feed Grandpa peppermints and warm our hands up on his breath. Ready? Does that actually work? What if they're cool mints? Oh dear. Number 3. Yep, remember that too. Also number 3 saying number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3, number 3. When I was a lad, we had an electric milk carts delivering milk in recyclable glass bottles. It wasn't that long ago, actually. To our door, along with probably the milk marketing board, then, wasn't it? Along with the eggs, butter, bread, eggs, and even orange juice. I think I mentioned the story before. My grandfather, I really ought to read you his diary. His diary from when he was in the war. He was a driver, and he's one of the first people to end up in Belsen. Not in Belsen as a prisoner of war, no, but after the war. That war ended. He was a driver for Colonel Begg, and then he's the account is quite interesting on it. I've got that here. Actually, might even run you through there. Anyway, and when he used to work for the co-op on the milk marketing board at the time, before the war and also after the war, he went back there, and he was like a manager, but that take care of. There was also all the Whitard Road in Heartsease, Norwich, and this man on his brain was amazing. Mathematical skills. I know I've said this before, but he literally just looked at a list of numbers. Like I've been on a little milk float with him when I was very little, 5 or 6. I was just flabbergasted, just adding numbers up, and I was like, well, just looking at him, that's it. None of this like row by row by row, just a whole lot. Just get penciled down the list of numbers. Yeah, he's just crazy mind, and he used to sell tomatoes. When he came out of the forces, he bought an ex-MOD, Ministry of Defence, greenhouse. And he bought a piece of land, and he put this greenhouse on this piece of land. And he's growing tomatoes, peppers, and other veg and what have you in this greenhouse. Big old greenhouse, quite a large plot of land. And they used to sterilise all their own soil. Basically, you sieve the soil, and they used to sterilise it using like a burner. One of those paraffin type, little pump action thing, pump on the side, a burner, and sterilise the soil to get rid of any weed seeds and stuff like that, and bacteria, stuff that you don't want in there. Anyway, he used to grow tomatoes and sell them on his milk round. Those days, obviously the milk marketing board or they went to the co-op. They didn't mind it, and they were electric milk floats they had then. Number 3, yeah, you're right. They were electric milk floats. And the batteries, so like lead acid batteries underneath the milk floats. But they'd be on charge all day. And obviously the electric motors were not like we got today. They weren't like these brushless motors that you got that you have now. They needed quite a bit of energy. Even though then you travelled at about 50 miles an hour or something. Not very quick. They're pretty slow, the old milk floats. And then obviously the milk bottles as well were sterilised every day. So and then refill the milk. That used to be done. It's definitely gone the wrong way. Something's gone seriously wrong here. Everything's about packaging. What's happened is we've created an industry about packaging, which also caused a massive problem regarding, as I mentioned earlier in this stream, about plasticosis and other stuff. The microplastics. How do we get rid of this stuff? And I've got a habit of making packaging products that aren't recyclable. The bonding two materials together as a form of, like for instance, foil or plastic coated or, papers and stuff like that, which you can't separate. Since I've incinerated all the landfill. Makes no sense, does it? We are a destructive race, we really are. Not just for ourselves, but for all living creatures. Scroll down, it's my rant. Number 3, last year I helped a couple of old folks in the UK, and they were confused over the brands of eggs in small supermarkets near my workplace, and that it was just wrong. They could not believe in it. Brands of eggs. Confused over the brands of eggs. Eggs are just, we get quail's eggs, I suppose. Tiny little things. Yeah, Johnny. No, you probably would not know it all already. Yeah, a couple of hours late. Well, some reason my notification went out about an hour early, so I don't know why that was. Because it's, I don't know, for 2100 for my time here in France, you're on at 8, but it says it on, somebody's saying it was saying 8 o'clock, my time, instead of 9 o'clock. No riots. Well, there is riots. There have been riots in the schools. Riots in the schools. Well, outside the schools, and they've been ripping up the gates and the fences. Because of these rules that have been imposed in the schools regarding toilets. During lesson time, they're not allowed to go to the toilet during lesson time. Not be funny, but some kids, they get older that long. Their missus worked in the school. She knows exactly what it was like. You know, some kids, they almost need to go that a couple of times and doing a lesson. You know, it's just if you got to go, you got to go, ain't you? Now, this happened to my daughter. Now, Mrs. Royd Smith, her name was, teacher, and she asked you to go to the toilet. She said, "No, you can't." Well, she wet herself, and ever since then, she's just, she was just in primary school. And ever since then, she never asked. Because she's quite timid. So she never asked, and it was constantly getting cystitis afterwards. Constantly holding herself, I suppose. I don't know why that is, but it seemed to be related at the time. But Mr. Roy Smith, to be fair to her, she did come out and tell us what happened. It says, I suspect, I don't know why I suspect of her being one of the children who mess about in the toilets, because she's not one of them kids, but she wasn't. So she did apologise, to be fair to her, but the kid needs to go to the toilet, needs to go to the toilet. If you think they're a problem child, maybe they need to be escorted to the toilet, but just don't do anything else. Like, no. Ooh. No. Just leave them to it. We're struggling with eggs here too, says Vipek. My grandmother would cool off a room. Would cool off a room. Okay. It's bedtime, says number 3. That it is. And I'll be coming off in a minute as well. I'm 15 minutes over. But I'm not going to do my usual madness. No. Because it gets out of hand. It really does. So, I did mention earlier, I want to try and change the way that I kind of make the sort of... this is kind of my job, basically. YouTube. On this channel, also my woodworking channel as well, videos. But YouTube is very unreliable in the sense... either that or my videos just ain't good enough all the time or of enough interest. But I want to demonetize it. In other words, I don't want YouTube to pay me. So, obviously, I'll be looking at other ways of funding, whether it's Patreons, where you can, or maybe memberships or stuff like that. But I wouldn't block anyone from use, or to watch the videos and stuff like that. I wouldn't do it like that. Wouldn't, not definitely. Free for all, I say. But YouTube take the mick, really do take the mick, and it's like they make the amount they take from super chats and stuff like that. It's quite considerable. They're very greedy. So I'll use their platform, but I don't want to pay them. So eventually, it'll get to a point, hopefully, that I get enough Patreon, so I don't have to monetize the channel via the YouTube system. So there'll be unless YouTube actually forces any ads onto the channel, I hope that we can definitely will limit them. If not, most of the videos will have no ads on. That's what I want to do. I already opt out of no ads in the middle of the videos, although YouTube sometimes stick them in there. Fine. So I think it was Ginger's telling me about that, which was a bit annoying. So I opt out of that. So yeah. Eggs in Lidl have gone from £1.19 for a dozen. Is it a dozen? Is it? That'll be a dozen, wouldn't it, in the UK? Half dozen, probably. Half dozen boxes. So £1.99 in 3 months. Yeah. Well, we've still got a bird flu problem here, and it's in the UK as well, so it's not going to get any better anytime soon. And also, there's been mass culling. It's like even here, where we are in France. Not far from there's a place called Rochechouart, and between here and Rochechouart, there was a bio, chicken farm, organic and all that. Bio, sorry, and it's official bio place. They had there's about 3 long chicken sheds. They shut up last year. if they're doing it, other places, they were Dutch, they were, and if they were doing it, other places around in the EU as well as in the United Kingdom, they're probably doing the same things. They can't make the money. Well, yeah, they're putting their efforts elsewhere. Did you just scroll down? Take care, Vipek. Hi, mate. Are we going to? Okay, Vipek. Well, we're going off in a second anyway. Larry the cat says, "Oh no, Sue replying to Larry the cat. Have you destroyed Rashid's plastic blanket? He watched Baywatch on. Oh, what? Number 3. Last year I helped a couple of I've done it already. Oh, Depardieu. Depardieu? You talking about the French actor? Depardieu passed in the aisle on a flight. Are you talking about the French actor? He's a bit of a character, isn't he? During lessons, you're supposed to pee in the corridors. All right then, yes, pretty much. What about the young girls who, obviously, time in the month and all that? Especially if it's their first time and don't know what's going on. If they haven't had any sex education, that is. Oh, my dear missus, oh my God. She told me a story. I'm going to tell you a story, Jack and Ori, a story about my dear missus. Well, she had a problem. And, she started menstruating. What was going on? Mother didn't tell her. It wasn't like the mum to daughter conversation. What does mum do? Oh, okay then. Goes and buys these strange knicker things that you have these clip-on pads. Not like what we have today. And that's what we have today was available then. And bought that month, but never ever again. Never again. She was just in secondary school, you know. She couldn't buy this stuff. Yeah, we always made sure that, two girls, that we always made sure the cupboard was full. Not full, but we always had them in the cupboards. You know, this is embarrassing for them. Too. Well, they didn't like buying it because obviously. Anyway, you got to have them because for obvious reasons. But yeah, but that was a bit embarrassing for my dear missus at the time, and then she had to start working at the boatyard, and then basically the money she was earning at the boatyard was going to pay for these sanitary products. They're expensive, aren't they? Sanitary products. You're not earning a lot. It's nuts. Hey, nice one. Cheers, Stu. Number 3. See you next week. Says, Vipek says number 3. Oh, take care, number 3. Well, I'm going to click off in any second now. So I'm going to. Oh, there was a headline news when he did that. Oh, now I get it. He on the fly. He peed. Oh my God! Did he? I'm sure he was headline news. I reckon he might have got arrested as well. Rather indecent. Adio. Were they with wings? Yeah, I don't know. I think they're little strap thing, like clip-on strap things. Nuts. I love the stories. Keep them coming. Oh, Christ. I've probably got loads of stories. I just have to in my frontal lobe, you see. Just be reminded about stories. I can tell lots of stories. Oh, dear. I can tell you one story, actually. Me and my brother-in-law, who's a bit of a... I don't talk to me, because he's a bit of a criminal. And anyway, we went fishing in a dinghy. Well, went down for a place called Woodbath Street in Norfolk. And on the way back, after we'd been fishing in our dinghy, and on the way back, we go through these trees. No one to see it anywhere. And we heard an almighty hallowing scream. Ghostly it was. And scared the living gajebas out of us. It didn't stop. Afterwards, we were thinking about when we got home, what if there's somebody in distress? It was a bit of a worry. That was a bit of a worry. No toilets down the hall. Oh. Andrew Evans. Good night, all. Off to catch up and some rugby on S4C. Click. Clap for punishment. I don't watch any sports these days at all. Not at all. Too busy making videos, I think, ready for YouTube. There were wings. Yeah, take care. Lefty boat. Ta-ta. He got done. Oh, he did get done, did he? Oh, the party, I imagine. I should hope so. That's pretty gross, isn't it? Why didn't he go to the toilet? Wouldn't he allow... Was they just taken off or something? When you telling us bedtime? Well, it's summertime for gingers. Yeah. What was it? Virginia, isn't it? Virginia? Where you are? In the United States, anyway. Oh, West Virginia. It's time for me. So I am going to make a move. And, oh, what can I leave you with? Not the DeLorean. Oh.
Well, Boris.
That's when we do lockdown. On Sir Charlie.
The NHS is and always has been a national endeavour that was set out in 1940. We need to fund the furthest behind first. And for too long, the political debate has been dominated by the argument about how we distribute a limited economic pie. Instead, we need to grow the pie so that everyone gets a bigger slice.
I want British people to have cheaper food, clothing and footwear the day we leave the European Union.
Jimmy Reid. Means we've got some Scots there. We've got to do a Jimmy Reid. He was a unionist. I'm going to say ta-ta. I'm going to leave you with ta-ta.
Can I make a freedom of choice? Freedom of choice. I mean, all of us are free tomorrow to put our names down on a list to buy a Rolls Royce. That's a freedom that applies to all of us. Only some of us can exercise that freedom of choice. 99% of us can't. When we come to London, at least when I come to London, I'm free to stay at the Savoy. But it's a freedom that's an abstract freedom so far as I'm concerned, because it's not really a choice that's available to me and to the great majority of the British people. Wait a minute.
Does it render it invalid?
Listen, yes indeed it does.
So you're saying
because I'll tell you this much, we've got freedom of the press in this country. But in order, I've got the same freedom as Sir Max Aitken. The only thing is, he's a multi-millionaire, right, that has a newspaper, right? So he can exercise that freedom of the press that's there and dictate editorials that are in line with his ideological thinking. For me and for all of these people, it's an abstract freedom. And I think we should, when we talk about freedom, we should get from abstractions to reality. Let me put this point. You go and knock on an old age pensioner's door, and they come there and you say, "How are you getting on, old man?" He says, "Terrible." And incidentally, let's face it, there was an old woman in Liverpool was found in her house, choked to death because she was eating cardboard. And in the same paper we had some other fellow, Norbury Enterprises, spent £500,000 on an aeroplane. £500,000 with 3 bedrooms in his aeroplane. You go to the old age pension and you say, "Well, look, Pop, okay then, you're having a hard time of it. You've only got a few quid. Yes, I can't even get tobacco. You're not eating too well. No, I hardly see meat." You say, "Don't worry, you're free." The old fella probably say, "I am free to starve." Now I tell you, let's take Shelley's Mask of Anarchy, where he talks about what is freedom. Freedom also is to have the freedom to bring up your children in such a way as to realise their full potential, to be free from the fear of poverty, to be free from the fear of war. These are freedoms which I find establishment politicians never talk about. And the woman's quite right. The freedom of choice that you're talking about in a whole vast area is non-existent for the great majority of working class people in this country. And therefore it's an abstraction.
Well, let's do David Hart, I think. Where's David Hart? Because he wrote...
Don't forget to like. Helps the channel, you know.